Welcome to Blocky
Did
Music.
That's funny.
Haha,
That made me
I'm hilarious.
crack up.
Blocky Music today is me and Janet. Janet, say hello.
Hello, world.
All right, and Blocky Music is where we listen to music and then we rate them based off of. We don't have a criteria. It's just how does Janet feel today is the criteria.
Now that's a very true statement right there.
It is,
Um,
and you know what? That's okay because you know what? It's it's that's what it's for. It's just to listen to the jams. That's what we're doing. So we're gonna start. We're gonna do War of the Gems. It's a Super Nintendo game, so blocky but not super blocky. Um, and War of the Gems is Infinity Stones, Infinity War, Marvel versus Marvel, the whole movies.
and Marvel versus Capcom. Yeah, I do.
Um,
Infinity Stone.
so this game is based off the comic that I think had released around the same time, which is about the Infinity Stones and stuff. But this is, I think, when it came out, like when the story of the gems came out was in like the 90s. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is what I read. And so they made a game about it. So, and before it was called Infinity War or whatever, it was called War of the Gems because they were gems before they were stones. They changed them to Infinity Stones instead of Infinity Gems. But anyway,
Oh,
Thanos is the big bad, and you can play as Spider-Man or Iron Man or Wolverine or Captain America or the Hulk. And
wow.
it's a beat 'em up, so left to right punch stuff as the heroes, and that's all I got. So if we're oh, and you go around the world. That's the collecting the gems. Um, which is why
I
there's
need to look.
like the first
I
one's
need
Boston, and then there's a one that just says
to-
Alaska. So without further ado, let's just go for it. This is War of the Gems Boston Aquarium. All right, Janet, Boston Aquarium.
Boston Aquarium. I'm getting very like it's dark. I mean, that's how aquariums are. Um, but the sound reflects that pretty good. Um, I like the little I don't know what like instrument it's even trying to be the whatever that
Oh,
is.
the little chime things in the background.
Yeah, we'll call it chimes.
Yeah.
That reminded me of like bubbles, like just bubbles in an aquarium. That's the fish breathing. That's not how fish breathe, but I think it's I'm gonna go with okay. That's how I always start these off. I don't want to give it too bad because I don't know what the rest are. I don't know if they're all gonna be slow paced. And that's the thing. If you guys haven't noticed, I really like faster paced songs, especially if you're like beating people up. Right? I'm supposed to
Yep.
be like Spider Man beating people up.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Um, give it. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay, we'll do a 3 baseline first song. I think first song, unless it's just immediately amazing or it's just garbage, it's always a 3. I think 3 is a
We ever had one that's like immediate garbage, which is good.
But we've had some that were like, oh, this is immediately a 5. Like, I think we've
Yeah,
had a
mainly
couple of
because
them.
like we know them, or I know them at least.
Yeah, so they're familiar. Um,
Yeah.
cool. Then the next one is the Amazon
Hmm.
Prime.
Okay, Donkey Kong, I hear it. Ooh, I like whatever that is.
All right, the Amazon.
I really like this one. It's I feel like I'm in the Amazon. Just I like when songs can do that. Um, I like this one so much that I think we might give this one a 5. What?
What?
Yeah.
This early in the game? Okay.
I'm telling you, it just all depends on how I'm feeling. And I just had me some chips and guac, so I'm feeling pretty good right now. And that one's gonna get a 5.
Okay. Cool. Then the next one on the list is, well, let me see if I remember, because I played this game as a kid, and it's not one that I played much, like
Ages ago, I guess.
it is ages ago, but it's not one of those ones that I'm like I'll go back and play like Sonic 2, right? Like once in a while I'm like, oh, I can play some Sonic. This isn't one of those like, oh yeah, like let me boot up War of the Gems. But if I remember correctly, like Boston Aquarium, you're in the aquarium and it's this like huge aquarium, and then like halfway through, like a bomb goes off, and then all the water is like going in, so like everything is flooded, so you're underwater for the second half of the map. The Amazon, you start and you're like on this like river. You're on the Amazon River, and eventually like you get to a waterfall and you go down and you're like in a cave, and then there's like a some kind of structure or something inside the cave, and then that's like where you fight the boss. Yeah. Alaska is in it's in the mountains. It's it's a snow level. So
Okay.
Alaska. All right, Alaska.
That had a lot happening in the loop. There was a lot going on. It started off strong. That was great. I liked it. It reminds me of like it gave the feeling of like it's cold, hurry up, kick him and let's go. Like we got like rushed type of thing.
Hmm.
Given that it's a snow level. So I liked it. That ending though, it wasn't too bad. It did catch me off guard though. Uh, but honestly, the majority of the beginning of the loop was pretty great. Um, I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay. Do we, or is it going above or below the Amazon?
See, and that's the question, isn't it? Um, I oh, on the first one, top, it'll be above Amazon.
Okay. Cool. Um, yeah, I've always liked the Alaska level. Um, Doctor Doom's castle. In the Marvel universe, there exists a fictional country. I forget what it's called, but Doctor Doom is the like ruler of the country. It's somewhere in like Europe, and
Who's Doctor Doom again?
he's from Fantastic Four. He has the green cape and he
Oh,
has like the metal mask.
okay. So then I was thinking of that person.
Yeah.
What? He's the ruler of some.
I don't know if he's like the president or the king or what, but he's basically the leader of a country in Europe, and he lives in a castle, and this is his castle.
Great, great.
All right, Doctor Doom's castle.
Very like tropical, and for some reason I'm picturing him in like a um cold place.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was okay. I wouldn't say it was bad, but I feel like I still liked it more than the aquarium one. So we'll give it a 3, but it'll be the first 3.
Okay.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, yes, yes.
After you do this part, I think you have two of the gems, and then there's a creature named the Magus, and he's in space, and he, I think, has one of the gems. So the game like sends you to space to fight him, and this is the theme of that. I don't know what the Magus is from, or Magus, the maggot. I don't know what I don't know what he's somewhere in the MC or in the Marvel continuity. I don't know who he belongs to, since like War of the Gems involves everyone. Like I don't know what he originally comes
Got it.
from, but
Got it.
he has a spacecraft, and this is what it sounds like. All right, the spacecraft.
It was another like, well, no, let me start off with this first. It sounded very, very much like a fighter video game song. Very much like I could hear that playing in the background and I know immediately, oh, that is a classic like I'm gonna punch and kick and jump kind of game. And it's a blocky game. It gave very much that. Um Comparison to like everything else that we heard that I gave like the 2 5 stars. Um it's very basic. But like it's not basic to like it gets a 3. Like I guess obviously it'll do a 4. But do I want it as a 4? Like I don't know. I don't
I
know.
like the like all the thoughts in your head being just spoken. Like I can see the gears in your head just like turning.
Yeah.
It's like I know, but
Yeah.
maybe what if? But also,
I'll give it I'll give it a 3 and it'll be at the top of the 3. Because like if you were to compare it to Alaska and the Alaska I think is the most like my favorite. So yeah,
mhm.
it's not like a 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
After you beat him, you get the third gem, and then you have to get two more. So you go to the other side of the world because I think the first three take place. Mostly all take place in like the Americas, except for Doctor Doom, and then the other ones, all other than Arizona, take place in the other side of the world, like Europe, Africa, Asia, kind of thing. So
Okay.
the next one is actually in space. So
Oh,
I guess it doesn't
that's
count.
all right.
Well, this
Not
is
even on Earth. Great.
yeah, you're close enough. It's on the like
Wow.
on the picture of the world map. There's like a little asteroid belt, and it just sends you up there. Um,
That's funny.
so the asteroid belt. Here we go.
Oh,
All right, asteroid belt.
that one. Little change of beat right in the middle, or just added sounds. I don't know how to explain it. That one. Let me think. I want to say that. Oh, it's a tough one. I'll give it a 4. I liked it more than the. It stood out more than like the spacecraft one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'll give it a 4. It felt very space, given that it's asteroid belt. I liked it.
Cool. I will say, we've done. I mean, this is at this point at the time of recording this. There's around 26 blocky musics up. Um,
Oh my god.
and so like there's been certain things that have popped up like a couple times, or like especially since like I have to edit them, like I have to listen to them over and over and over. And one of the things that pops up a lot is songs that have intros and when they go too long before like kicking in. And I think this one has a good balance of like it starts and you're like, okay, it's doing the build up, but it doesn't take forever. Uh, like it just kind of
Okay.
like once the drums kick in, it kind of starts building up and stuff. Which I know we've listened to a lot of them that don't have that. They definitely have the like, oh, this one would be better if it, or like I'd like this one if the
Yeah.
intro wasn't
Yeah.
75% of the song.
Yeah. Oh, off kind of on topic, but off topic. That one Donkey Kong song it is me because of that. It just takes forever to start. I don't know what song it is. You can fill in the blank for me, but it's you're like on a river or something. It's the most popular one,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah.
just takes ever to start. Like it's a good one.
Yeah, it's
Gosh,
it's the
it
it's
takes
the it's
forever.
the like first song from Donkey Kong Country where it's just like doom 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 doom
And I'm
doom
like,
doom.
okay, okay, but like my attention span's really short, so I'm like, just get to it, please.
Yeah, just play the
That's
song.
yes. And like even remixes make it that long too. I'm like, you would think that we would have shortened it by now, but no, they
Nope.
keep it that length.
Yep, they have that long build up. It's funny too because like in like Smash Brothers where you're like, oh, it's gonna be just the intense part. Like, nope, it's still half the song is still just like the
Yes,
doom doom doom
that's
doom.
like frustrates me. Donkey Kong, that song frustrates me.
Oh, Donkey Kong.
It's a good song though. It's a good song though.
It is a good. It's a bop. Cool. Moving on to Arizona Mining Complex. I mean, that kind
Huh.
of speaks for itself. It's like a cave where they are mining. So
In Arizona.
yeah, I don't know. They just needed some places, and they're like, yeah, Arizona, that's a place. So here we go. All right, Arizona Mining Complex.
This one felt sparkly.
Like
Yes.
there's like
Um,
diamonds or something in there.
like I think that's kind of what it might have wanted to get at, but also it felt very like space-ish. So I'm like, what? I get two very different feelings from songs sometimes. Um, but yes, it felt very like shiny, sparkly, glittery. Um, I'm assuming well, if they're mining for gems. Very like Snow White, like the guy, the dudes, the
Yeah, yeah,
dwarf.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That feeling where they like emphasize the shininess of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it didn't like, really stand out to me. It wasn't bad though. Like, do we no? If it's a four, but another three, my God, I feel bad. But like a three is what it is. Um,
All right.
I don't know where. It's a good. It's between. It's above. Gosh. It's
Poor Boston.
above. It's above Doctor Doom's castle.
All right. Well, and I mean we're gonna hop through these again, so you'll be able to refine
Yeah.
these. Um, yeah, you know what I was noticing while we were like listening to this is so this game is made by Capcom, and
Hmm.
this is when they were making the other games around this time were also like the Mega Man X games.
Hmm.
The sound, like the sounds they sampled or sound types that they used for this game are very similar to the sounds from Mega Man X. Because that one specifically had some parts where I'm like, this sounds like these instruments sound like the same ones they used for some of the songs in Mega Man X, and I don't know, like we'll after we finish, I'll like play something from that so you can like hear it. But the instruments feel familiar, like they don't feel like completely different or like this is a very unique sound. Like no, this very much feels like it was built on something or it's using other stuff, which is not a
Uh-uh.
bad thing. It's just interesting because they were all made by the same people around the same time. So
Yeah. Okay.
all right, so next we have Egypt. I don't even remember the Egypt stage.
I
Well,
want to go to Egypt.
it sounds cool, but
Okay.
then it's like 130 degrees.
Ew.
Weird. That one had like a really strange loop. It was kind of hard to follow. But Egypt.
Um, that wasn't it. I did say that I haven't given a 1 star in a minute. Well, that minute is up. This Egypt was not it. Sorry.
Wow. Okay, it has been a minute since we had a 1 star.
Hmm.
But you know what? That's it. It is like that sometimes. It do be like that.
It just wasn't like I know what they were trying to do. Like, yes, I got the very like desert vibes, but
They could have done it in a way that was more engaging.
y- exactly. And for that reason, you get star Egypt. So sorry.
All right. Well, we're down to the last one. This is Mount Vesuvius. It is the stage itself is actually pretty cool. So it's a volcano, and
In the
when you
volcano? Around the volcano? What's happening?
you start on a cliff, and then Doctor Strange comes out and he gives you like a surfboard or like a hoverboard or something, basically like an energy thing for you to stand
Okay.
on, and then you the first like part half of the level you're like flying over like a huge lava pit, just like fighting stuff, kind of like like in some games you'll ride like in the beat 'em up games you'll have like in the Turtles games, you're on a surfboard in the sewer, but it still plays the same. You're just like instead of being on the floor, you're like on surfboard, and it just changes the.
Is it big enough that like the enemy could be on your
No,
surfboard?
no, it's just you on the thing. So you move around and play just like regular. It just looks like you're hovering, but it's literally it's the same thing.
Okay. All right. I don't get it, but all right.
Yeah, so it's basically like that, and then after you finish that, then you go into like a mountain, Mount Vesuvius, and then you go inside the volcano, and then the boss is like at the bottom, like at the volcano pit. So
The pit.
yeah, so here we
Okay.
go. The last song on the last stage, and you can pick these levels in any order. So the first four, no, yeah, like the first four you can pick in any order, and then the last four you can pick in any order. The only one you're forced to do is the spacecraft in between.
Sure.
So here we go. All right, Mount Vesuvius.
Oh man. Just whoa. Um, that one was good. That one's really good. It wasn't too in your face like I feel like Alaska is, but it was still pretty good. Oh, I for sure want to give it a 5. I don't know where I want to put it though. It's because I just can't remember Alaska. So for right now, we're gonna put it below Alaska, but 5 for sure.
Okay. Cool. Cool. And then we do the thing where we have to fix the orders, but you know what? Let's leave the 5s for last. Let's leave a good taste at the end.
Oh,
Let's not go
okay.
because we always go backwards, and we always end up with like the last song is like the 2 stars, and then we're like rate the whole thing, and you're like because you forgot what the good ones sound like.
I see.
So let's start backwards. Let's start with the 3s. So we'll start with spacecraft, and then after I play, and these have longer loops than most of the stuff we do. So I'll play maybe 30 seconds, and then I'll switch, and then you can kind of let me know if you want to play more.
Hey, this one has a long intro. Oh, Boston. Give it a 2. No, not it.
All right.
Um, can you play Spacecraft? Okay, no, yeah. So those I like the order that they're in because I wasn't a big fan of
Are you
Jim's
far from your
Castle.
mic?
Oh, I'm like I'm close to it.
Okay, no,
Oh, it
you.
was like pointing down.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, where? You're like I like them right where they are, and then you just
Oh,
kind
my
of
bad.
like faded away. No, you're fine. Okay, and then
Mm,
asteroid belt was a 4, so we'll leave that one alone. And
okay,
then we
great.
have these chunky boys. So here we go.
This one's hard. Okay. As much as I love Alaska, I feel like if I were to listen to it for the entirety of the like level, I feel like I would get a little overwhelmed with it. But it is great. But I enjoyed the loops of the entire loops of the other two. So I'm gonna move Alaska to the last of the five because it's great, like because it catches my attention, but then I'm a little too like on edge for the rest of the song. The other two, I can listen to the whole thing and just be like, all right, I can enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So the mountain, the volcano one, I think that one between the two, I do want it at the top. That's my final order.
Your final answer. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, that's War of the Gems for the Super Nintendo. Um, I mean, we have a 1 star. It's been a while since we had a 1 star. Um,
Yeah.
Even 2 stars, I
And
think, aren't that common, but here we are. And 3 5 stars, though, that balances out the 1 star. So, all that being said, Janet, what is your final score for the whole thing?
well, um, I'm gonna go with what number feels right. The number 7 feels like a Thursday, you know? So it's just it's just a filler. And that's what I feel like this game is.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it 7.
All right. Well, this is one that like I remember vividly from my childhood and like playing it and stuff. I don't like. I do like some of the tracks, but there are definitely some that I'm like, eh. I agree with most of the stuff on here. I don't like Egypt at all either. And Mount Vesuvius is my favorite one out of all of them. Um,
Wow.
there's some stuff in the middle that like I'd probably shift around, but and Boston Aquarium, I don't like that one either. So that, I mean, that was kind of there. But I actually do like Doctor Doom's Castle. It has like a, I don't know, it almost has like this like tropical dancey feel to it, even though it's not supposed to. And
Yeah.
I really
Um,
like the asteroid belt one just because I feel like it has a nice build up and stuff, and it feels kind of like I don't like to use the word, but it feels epic, if that makes sense. Like it feels grander than usual.
mm,
Probably because you're like in space and it's um, but yeah, no, I mean, it is what it is. War of the Gems. Janet gives it a 7 out of 10. Right on. So yeah, that's it for Blocky Music, whatever number this ends up being. And
mhm.
join us next time for maybe something a little bit more fast paced because I think this one was pretty slow.
Meh.
All right, bye.